Alright, hello, what is up? It's Burst. I'm here with week 4 of the Great Lakes Draft League Huron Division. This week we are up against Tomb, who has a very scary team, but also has a very, very, very big hole. So this is going to be a very interesting week. Because I've known about this hole for like the entirety of existence, um, I gave myself a 30-minute cap on team building. So it took me 25 minutes to build this team, and it's very interesting to say the least. So I already knew what my four were going to be going in. It was going to be a Lopunny Hitmonchan lead with Cinderace and Caparasha in the back. And the main thing with Lopunny Hitmonchan is that I have Assault Vest and Trick Lopunny, and the goal is to get that onto a Hatterene or a Togetic. And with, what's it called? Hitmonchan, we have Fake Out, which allows like ignoring redirection for like just a minute. So we see the Sceptile and Vulpix lead. And this is like the one I also know like exactly what's happening. Vulpix is going to Ice Shard into Sceptile. So my main thing is how am I going to take out this Vulpix effectively? I'm between Close Combat and Bullet Punch at the moment because of what is it? What's the thing I'm looking at? Accuracy. And I'm just currently trying to figure out how bulky is this Vulpix and how, like, what should I do to make sure that this Vulpix dies? So I eventually decide on the close combat here because I know it will kill. I was just debating if close combat and I want to take the defense drops or do I want to bullet punch and risk not killing. Anyway, I fake out and close combat just to take out the Vulpix and make sure that the weakness policy does not go off on the Sceptile and therefore um, it won't be unburdened +2. That is the main thing here. So we get the fake out off, and Vulpix flinches, lets me know that it is priority. Seal Spike does come out, and that's important, and it only does half to Lopunny, also important. Um, it tells me that offensive pressure isn't great on the Sceptile, and it also tells me it is physical. So Vulpix does go down to the Hitmonchan, and this lead has basically done its job. Now I know that Sceptile is going to be kind of a sitting duck here for the rest of the game, and all I gotta worry about is making sure that I can out offensive pressure it um, for the end game here. I want to make sure that in whatever 1v1 or 1v2 I'm set in, the Sceptile is going to die. So that is the main thing I'm worried about. So we're just waiting on him to make the move, and I believe he goes into Malamar here. And so Malamar, I'm very aware it's got a lot of contrary shenanigans with superpower and other things, mainly superpower. So that is the main thing I'm going to be working around here. I believe what I decide to do is I go for a Charm to Sceptile, because I want to just make it more of a sitting duck, honestly. And then I just straight up, what's it called? I straight up like close combat into the Malamar. I think like, oh yeah, there's no reason not to, and the quicker I can like rotate in my actual threats, the better. So I'm just like thinking here, but this match happened very recently, so I'm very aware of what my thought process was. So we do get the Seal Spike out again, and that does kill a Lopunny, but it tells me that I have a lot of leeway when it comes to what I bring in and how I manipulate the momentum of the match. Because I can get the free switch in, I can get Cinderace in, get a U-turn off, that sort of thing, and all will be fine and dandy. So Hypnosis does come out onto the Hitmonchan. That tells me, okay, this is going to be a lot more of a defensive support Malamar, which isn't something I've seen often, but I do know it is something that exists, and I got to be wary of the fact that Hypnosis is going to be coming out. Also, it is -2, or sorry, -1 at defense. So I decide I'm gonna switch in Cinderace here. And that's mainly for controlling the momentum of the match. Um, what I'm deciding to do is kind of just like keep Hitmonchan in and let it take the sleep turns because it just gives me a free position. And I'm gonna U-turn into the Malamar to get the kill, and then I can rotate in the Copperajah pretty freely. Now the only issue is if Sceptile has something to KO that what's it called? To KO that Copperajah on the switch in, but whatever. It's fine. So Cinderace takes the U-turn, and we do get the pickup onto the Malamar, which is very important. So whatever comes into that slot won't be able to switch out of whatever boosts, and we don't have to worry about Contrary anymore, which is a very nice relief. So we do have what's it called the Copperajah coming in, and a Max Quake does come out, and it hits into the Copperajah slot. Now, I'm actually kind of fine with this because my Cinderace is my end game anyway because it hits Sceptile a lot better, it hits Glastrier very well, and even though um this Copperajah is very can be very bulky, on the physical end it's not really bulky. I didn't put much physical investment at all. It's max attack, sassy nature, max special defense, 4 HP. So the fact that it survived at all to get down to the hail damage and then to die to the Vulpix instead of the Sceptile is really funny. But it does tell me that Sceptile is bad. And I'm running Sceptile in another league. I understand. You gotta take the punches and just work with it, right? So Sceptile's out of max, and now it can't really do anything offensively as long as I don't hit it for super effective. And now I can just freely take max moves with the Cinderace. I was thinking like, oh, I can target into Sceptile, I can go for Fireballs, but eventually I decided to go for the Seal Spike into the Glastrier. And the idea behind this is that even if, like, first off, I don't want to proc weakness policy. Second, I want to get rid of the Glastrier really badly. So I'm going to double into the Glastrier here. So Chan gets the close combat and Seal Spike into the Glastrier as well. And hopefully if the wake up comes, then Chan will take out the Glastrier and nothing to worry about. Mind you, Max is gone, so I don't have to worry about a Max Glastrier. And this endgame Max Cinderace is just going to put in a lot of big damage. So Steel Spike does come out, and we see the damage output is, well, it does most of the health. It doesn't kill, but it leaves room for Hitmonchan, right? So we get our defense boost, and that really just allows us to live this Sceptile's Earthquake. And Glacier somehow lives on 1. And then we just get a free close combat to kill. So, pretty cool. Mind you, if close combat didn't kill, I could just bullet punch the next turn, no biggie. So now we get the 2v1 onto the Sceptile. And I have a choice to make. Do I want to play it safe, go for the guaranteed win con of just spamming Steel Spike? Or do I want to take the risk for a differential point and go for a close combat plus, or maybe even a bullet punch plus a say Fireball? I eventually decided to go for the safe Steel Spike play because I want to guarantee the win con. So I'm just gonna keep boosting my defenses, and as long like he just cannot touch me. And Earthquakes are gonna just keep firing out. It takes out the Hitmonchan. That's okay with me. So I'm gonna make sure I got that noted down right. Yeah, I did get that noted down right. So it does kill the Chan. And finally, we get a final seal spike to take out the Sceptile. So now I'm thinking, okay, how are we gonna get to next turn? He obviously knows that he cannot do the Vulpix lead again because I see right through it. I know how to outplay it. I have the tools to outplay it. So he's going to go for the Hatterene Togetic lead, right? I'm very aware of this. So I'm trying to figure out, or throughout this game, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I deal with this? And so right here, I'm just like thinking through like how I want to lead to make sure that I can get my game plan off correctly. And I decide I want to do a Lopunny Cinderace lead with Hitmonchan Copperajah in the back. And turn 1 is going to be a hard switch out of Cinderace and a fake out into Lopunny, or sorry, from Lopunny into the Hatterene. So that is how it's starting, right? Of course, I'm just like double checking that my play is right. So the idea is turn 2 is going to be my turn 1 because I am expecting a double protect out of them. What I'm expecting is that they're going to think that I'm going to just go hard offense into the Hatterene with a fake out onto the Togetic and generally mess up their day. So instead, I'm going to get in the Hitmonchan so I can Assault Vest that Hatterene. See, that's the play. Um, so anyway, we just go for that. And you're going to see how that turns out. Mind you, there is a variation of this sort of lead that I can do that will just hard nuke the Hatterene. And so that would be switching out the Lopunny for Hitmonchan and just protecting with the Cinderace. And the idea is turn 2 after the double protect, I'll be able to freely hit into the Hatterene, take it out with a Steel Spike, and really control the momentum from there. So this is going exactly as planned. The Togetic is going to take the fake out, can't get off of Follow Me. Everything is going to be fine and dandy, right? So we see fake out comes out, Togetic can't do anything, Switcheroo comes out. Mind you, I know this entire game front to back because there's a disconnect, and I'm going to talk a lot more about how we dealt with it later, but there was a disconnect, and yeah. So Trick Room does come out. How does it come out? I don't know, but this was a very new interaction to me, and it puts me in a sticky situation. So, of course, I'm kind of panicking, just a little bit, but I think I decide I want to go for a copycat on Lopunny. I want to see what kind of damage I can do, that sort of thing. I'm expecting maybe a Togetic follow me into like a Max Smite or a Max Mindstorm out of the Hatterene. So I'm just going to go for, say, a Rock Slide. Mind you, I'm expecting Hatterene wants to go for a Mindstorm here to prevent anything in the future with Fake Out and such. And that's why I have the Pyapa Berry to protect against Psychic moves. So at least that's what my game plan is, right? So we do see the max out of the Hatterene. And that's very expected. They're going for a very early game blitz, and then in the back they can just have Glacier clean it up. So Hitmonchan goes down to the Smite. Also, what's about to happen is a 12.25 chance, and I only know this because we had to recreate it, and we eventually decided to give up on that because it just went wrong so many different times. So Lopunny, it's confused. It doesn't get hacked by the what's it called? By the Tri Attack. Copycat goes off. Tri Attack goes into the Hatterene and doesn't hacks it. So that was a very non-hacks like turn that had a lot of potential to go wrong, like over 3/4 chance. So I get a Copper in, and this is going to be my main trick room type sweeper. I'm realizing here that Lopunny doesn't have anything, and I can save it for later for some really nice fake out pressure. So if I switch in the Cinderace, then it can like resist fairy moves and a million other different things. But generally, I'm expecting to take a Max Flare into these Copper follow me, only know a list of things. That's just how it's gonna be, right? So I do get my Max out. Onto the Copper works very well. And this is Life Orb Copper, and it's not max HP. I don't know why I didn't max HP that, but Follow Me does come out. And that means that this Steel Spike is just going to go straight into Togetic, take the kill, that sort of thing. I'm not sure what the calcs were on that, but I believe that meant it was more specially defensive or mixed defensive. But I don't think that was full, bold physical defense like it should have been. So Max Flare comes out. We take it like a champ, you know how it be. So Cinderace gets the free switch in. And what we're about to see is a Malamar come out. So what I tried to do is read, like, okay, he's probably gonna try sleeping the Copper and then dealing with the Cinderace to have a really nice end game with a sleeping Copper and a million different things that can take it out. That's my thought process, right? So my idea is, okay, what if I U-turn into the Malamar, get some really nice damage onto it, get some fake out pressure for the next turn with the Lopunny, and then Copper is going to guard and take the double, like a champ, right? And then next turn, Hatterene will be out of max, and all will be fine and dandy. So that is my idea. Also, I'm okay giving up the Lopunny in order to give what's it called, Cinderace a little bit more leeway. So we do see the Max Flare go into the Copper slot, but the Hypnosis goes into the Cinderace. So this is like an oh no moment, right? um, Cinderace is going to be really crucial for my end game, so I don't really have much to do here. I can switch it out, but generally I value my fake out pressure very well. And so what I'm going to do is protect on the Cinderace, and if we get the first turn wake up, awesome. And then I'm just gonna go hard nuking the Hatterene. And so that's the sort of thing I'm expecting here. The Cinderace wakes up. We get the protect. Awesome. This is a very, very good turn of events for me. And Max Steel Spike does take out the Hatterene. That's 2 kills for Copper. And that's where we get the disconnect. Okay. So what we decide to do is we use the damage calculator to essentially do the turn of events as it would be. Okay, so Malamar gets a superpower off. And so now we have a situation where we have a full health Malamar with attack and defense buffs, no short Coop, Sun is up. Oh, I forgot to do the calcs with Sun up. Oh, it's whatever. Anyway, so what happens is that I will U-turn into the Malamar. It does about 70%. Lopunny comes out. Malamar is going to get a superpower into the what's it called? The Copper, which takes the kill. And then Glacier will go for a high horsepower into the Lopunny. Lopunny takes it like a champ. Then Cinderace comes back out, goes for the U-turn out onto the Malamar, and then Lopunny goes for fake out onto the Glastrier. Finally, Pyro Balls come out, and so Pyro Ball comes out with Cinderace, does it, gets the Glastrier to very, very low health, and finally, a copycat from the Lopunny gets the second Pyro Ball, and that takes the kill. So that's how the game plays out. So thank you for watching. Sorry that it was very anticlimactic at the end. So we end with a 2-0. Very awesome stuff. We'll see you next week with whoever I'm playing. Bye.